Hey everyone, before we gallop into today's incredible story, go ahead and hit that like button. Like Camarero hitting the finish line first, share this video with your fellow racing fans, comment with your favorite racehorse or funniest horse. Pun. And don't forget to subscribe. Otherwise, I might just send a jockey to chase you down the track. Every sport has its legends, figures whose achievements surpass the ordinary and become timeless symbols of greatness. In the world of horse racing, one such legend was born not on the grand circuits of Kentucky or England, but on the sun-soaked island of Puerto Rico. This was Camarero, a small, unassuming bay colt, who would go on to accomplish something no other. Thoroughbred has achieved to this day 56 consecutive victories. His story is one of grit, determination, national pride, and the power of belief. And though his tale is well known in Puerto Rico, the wider racing world is still discovering just how remarkable this little horse was. Camarero was foaled on June 16, 1951, in the town of Santa Isabel. Despite being a thoroughbred, he wasn't physically imposing. At about 14 hands high and roughly 750 pounds, he was more pony-sized than the typical racehorse. Many might have overlooked him at first glance, but Camarero had something immeasurable. Heart. He was bred by Luis Racani, A-grade and initially named Sabrosito. After a change in ownership, he was renamed Camarero, Spanish for waiter, an ironic twist, given that on the racetrack, he never waited for anyone. His owner, Jose Col Vidal, placed him under the guidance of trainer Pablo Suarez, who quickly realized this was no ordinary colt. Suarez crafted a training regimen that focused on Camarero's agility, endurance, and explosive speed out of the gate. On April 14, 1953, Camarero made his racing debut at the old Hippodromo Quintana. It was a modest race, 400 meters, but he won it decisively. That first victory set the tone for what would soon become an unprecedented journey. During his 2-year-old season, Camarero ran 18 times and won every single race. This was already a record for a Puerto Rican 2-year-old. The racing community began to take notice. This small bay colt was more than a local curiosity. He was a phenomenon in the making. His dominance continued into his 3-year-old season. In 1954, he captured the Puerto Rican Triple Crown, sweeping the Copa Gobernador, Jose de Diego Stakes, and Primavera Stakes without a single loss. This sealed his reputation as the best horse in Puerto Rico. By now, Camarero was the darling of the island. Fans packed racetracks wherever he ran. Children wore Camarero t-shirts, newspapers ran breathless coverage of his races, and betting pools swelled, though often wagering was suspended because of how overwhelming a favorite he was. Camarero wasn't just winning, he was transforming the sport of horse racing in Puerto Rico. Throughout 1954 and into 1955, Camarero's win streak grew. Each victory added to the mounting tension and excitement. Could he keep it going? Could anyone challenge him? Race after race, he delivered. His versatility was astonishing. He won at distances ranging from 5 to 9 furlongs. He handled varying track conditions with ease. Whether he was leading from the start or closing in dramatic fashion, Camarero found ways to win. As the victories piled up, international attention followed. Word spread beyond Puerto Rico about the small horse with the giant streak. Comparisons were made to great undefeated horses of the past, like Hungary's Kinksum and America's Man o' War. But what Camarero was doing was unprecedented, winning 56 consecutive races on a modern racing calendar. On August 17, 1955, in Late, front of an electric crowd, Camarero secured his 56th straight victory, setting a world record. The race wasn't just a sporting event, it was a national celebration. For one day, all of Puerto Rico seemed united in joy and pride. As with all streaks, the end eventually came. On August 26, 1955, just 9 days after his record-setting triumph, Camarero was entered in another race. Perhaps the rigorous schedule had finally caught up to him. Or perhaps it was simply fate. In that race, Camarero finished fourth behind a filly named Teresina. The streak was over. There was no shame in the loss. Camarero had achieved something no other horse had. The fans gave him a hero's ovation regardless of the result. The island celebrated not the end of a streak, but the greatness of the journey. In the months that followed, Camarero continued to race, adding several more wins to his record. But by 1956, his health began to decline. After one final race, tragedy struck. Camarero suffered an intestinal obstruction and passed away shortly thereafter. Over 10,000 fans came to pay their respects as his body was laid to rest at Hippodromo Quintana. It was as if a beloved national hero had passed. By the end of his career, Camarero had compiled an astonishing record. From 77 starts, he won 73 races, including 56 straight, which is a world record. Beyond the numbers, Camarero's true legacy was the impact he had on Puerto Rican horse racing. Camarero's success sparked a renaissance in Puerto Rican horse racing. Before his rise, the sport had been popular but largely local and modest in scale. His streak drew national and international attention, dramatically increasing attendance, wagering, and investment in racing infrastructure. The aging El Comandante racetrack struggled to accommodate the growing crowds inspired by Camarero's legend. Ultimately, a new state-of-the-art facility was constructed in Carolina to replace it. In 2006, this racetrack was fittingly renamed Hippodromo Camarero in honor of the horse who had changed everything. Camarero also inspired generations of Puerto Rican jockeys, trainers, and breeders. His story became a national fable of perseverance and triumph against the odds. Songs, books, and statues were dedicated to him. Racing awards and stakes races continue to bear his name. The Puerto Rico Horse Racing Hall of Fame inducted Camarero as one of its first members. A statue of the great champion stands proudly in his hometown of Santa Isabel, ensuring that new generations will always know the story of the Little Bay Colt, who became a legend. Why was Camarero so special? Several factors contributed to Camarero's dominance. Though small, Camarero possessed incredible speed, agility, and endurance. His size likely helped him handle the tropical heat and tight Puerto Rican tracks with ease. Under Pablo Suarez's masterful training, Camarero's conditioning was second to none. His training regimen was carefully balanced to avoid overexertion while maintaining peak form. Throughout his career, Camarero benefited from skilled and tactically savvy jockeys who understood his strengths and knew when to unleash his explosive speed. Perhaps most importantly, Camarero had an indomitable will to win. Race after race, even when trailing or challenged, he found reserves of determination to surge ahead. In the pantheon of great racehorses, Camarero's 56 consecutive wins remain unmatched. While other horses like Kinsum, Ormonde, and Man o' War had undefeated or nearly undefeated records, none achieved such a sustained winning streak in the modern era. In the United States, Cigar's 16-race winning streak and Zenyatta's 19 consecutive wins are considered among the greatest modern feats, yet both pale in comparison to Camarero's 56. Camarero's record is all the more remarkable given the rigorous racing schedule he maintained. He often raced weekly, sometimes twice a week, under conditions that would be considered extreme today. His endurance and consistency defy belief. Today, Camarero's influence is woven into the fabric of Puerto Rican racing. Hippodromo Camarero remains the island's premier track, hosting major regional and international events. The Camarero Awards continue to honor the best in Puerto Rican horse racing. The island's racing school, founded in the wake of the sport's resurgence, produces top jockeys and trainers who compete on circuits around the world. And most importantly, camareros. Story continues to inspire. In a world that often rewards size and flash, his triumph reminds us that greatness comes in many forms, and that heart and determination can overcome any obstacle. Camarero was more than a horse. He was a national hero, a symbol of excellence, and a beloved figure whose story continues to captivate and inspire. His 56-race winning streak remains a towering achievement in the annals of horse racing, one that may never be equaled. But beyond the numbers and the records, Camarero's legacy is about heart. The Little Bay Colt, who captured the hearts of a nation, proved that with courage, determination, and belief, even the smallest among us can achieve greatness. So the next time you visit Hippodromo Camarero, watch a race, or hear the chant of fans, remember the horse who started it all. The legend of Camarero lives on, in every race, every cheer, and every dream of an underdog ready to defy the odds. And if you enjoyed this story of racing greatness, don't forget to like this video. Think of it as your winning bet ticket. Share it with friends who love a good underdog tale, comment with your favorite racing moment, and subscribe to the channel. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. If you don't, I'll have to unleash Camarero's spirit to chase you across the track.